Welcome back to the Immigrant Podcast. This is your boy Nikolai Hill. The program is brought to you by Nothing But Net International. Now, recently I was in a Wells Fargo doing some business, and I was in a line waiting to speak to one of the bankers, and I saw one of the customers in the other line, more for the tellers, older or Caucasian gentleman with a gun holstered on his hip, and this was in the bank. Now you don't see this every day, obviously, so it's not something that I'm gonna necessarily go overboard about, like I'm being in shock or anything. But the first thought that came to my mind, being of course in the state of Nevada, is that we are in the wild wild west. Now that might be come to my mind because I'm more comedically inclined to look at things like that in that manner, but that was one of the first things that came to mind. This conversation today is going to be about firearms. One of the things that I want, of course, I'm more politically based. Of course, we know with the elections coming up as well. So one of the things I wanted to point out, and after this, I would love for people to ask questions. Of course, subscribe to the program and ask questions in the comment section to yourselves, to each other, to me, what you think of the points that I'll be making today. But the first thing that came to my mind also, the thing that we all want to know as voters is, what are we going to do to get on top of the gun control? We don't want to see young people dying in schools or in supermarkets or in nightclubs unnecessarily. I'm sure everybody in this country and on the planet, we don't want that. But it's a tricky situation when it comes to the sales of firearms. We know that this country, a lot of their revenue is made up of gun sales than the export of firearms overseas. In fact, last year alone, $258 billion worth of firearms were exported overseas. Not just exported, they were sold. And then that $258 billion of revenue goes to whichever gun manufacturer that sold those guns, and those are American gun manufacturers, so that's good for the United States. I'll give you an additional number. 17 million guns were sold in the United States alone to American homeowners or American citizens just last year. So just another 17 million guns on top of what was out there before. 17 million people are being born in the United States every year. So we're not getting to an extra 17 million 18-year-olds or 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds who are inclined to buy firearms. So we know a lot of those 17 million people are repeat buyers. We know a lot of people who own guns seem to have more of a fascination with firearms, so they tend to buy more guns. But overall, this conversation today is more about which party would be beneficial to curbing the guns that are killing our citizens. So I am not perturbed, and a lot of the people that I speak with, and I have a lot of people that own firearms. I mean, I'm not worried about those people. The ones that I'm worried about are the uncouth firearm owners, the ones that don't have the morale to own a firearm, the ones that don't have the education or the intelligence to know how to keep a firearm. And we can do in recent history with parents gifting their 15 and 16-year-old kids who already have adjustment issues in life, socially, in school, gifting them guns. Those are just not good decisions. So we don't want those people with firearms. So I want the party that we're voting for in the November elections to be give us some clarity on what we're going to do to curb the firearm sale. Do we have to make it a little bit stricter? Is that one of the questions that I wanted to pose to everybody that's listening today? Do we have to make the policy to get guns a little bit stricter? Do we have to punish people that illegally use firearms, purchase firearms in a harsher manner? Maybe the penalties for gun owners and people who commit crimes with firearms are just not enough. I mean, it sounds unfathomable, but that could be it. So those are some of the questions I want posed in this part, this should I say episode of our conversation. And yeah, well, also we do want to know that one of the parties out there also likes to express that the crimes that are being committed are mostly by immigrants, and of course that's not true. There are not enough immigrants in the United States. The amount of crimes that happen every day, and those crimes that are being committed by immigrants aren't by gun owners. So I don't want to hear you guys talking about immigrants and illegal immigrants having firearms, because it's a bigger problem than that. So that's the question in the question box. Get back to me. I'm your boy Nikolai Hill. This has been another episode of the Immigrant Podcast. Take it easy.